Well, you guys seen this radio here, and how pleased I am with it. But I got a new one.
513, Michigan Robinson.
And this is the DMR version.
Summit 513, guys, we're getting another call, 500 Winter Crest for a large different vehicle report to unknown when it occurred. Nothing was seen. Summit 6 is clear. We'll head to Roxbury first.
But anyway, there's a couple things that I learned about DMR I figured I'd share with you guys. When you buy one of these Chinese radios and they advertise them as compatible with Motorola DMR, that's not entirely true, although may be true. These radios were made in China, so I don't know what these guys are doing to make them US compatible, but it's not. It's like there's two standards of DMR. There's regular DMR, and then there's PDMR. Is which, as far as I can read it means it's private. But all DMR can be encrypted. I don't know, it's confusing. Anyway, say like Europe and like maybe Australia, Japan, and these other countries advertise DMR and Motorola DMR and that sort of thing. And that's true because it all works on the same principle. It works on the digital, but their standards, and there's two different standards. There's TDMA and there's another one. But even that, what works in Europe and is compatible in Europe or Great Britain or what have you, is not directly compatible with U.S. standards of TDMAs, which is Motorola. But if you were over there with the same radio, because it came from there, it comes from China, it probably is compatible with their standard of DMR Motorola. Well, because Motorola is worldwide. Everybody's heard of Motorola, whether it's a smartphone or a radio. And that's what this guy doesn't... He doesn't understand that. He says that it's compatible with Motorola DMR, and in order for me to do whatever, you got to have the program, and I realize that. But they also don't tell you that the software and the cable, it's strange, because even after you register it, how do you give your radio an ID? I mean, does it show your call sign or something? I mean, how do you change a radio ID? I mean, each and every radio, their ID should be different. But I guess they leave that open for like groups of radios, so you can ID them all the same. Who knows? They say, people keying on them and stuff. Well, you'd have to access a system repeater to do that. I mean, you can try to plug the frickin' airways with 1 watt of DMR and call it, radio jamming or something, but it ain't gonna do you any good. I mean, it's on a frickin' handheld. It only puts out 4 or 5 watts, if that. So when I say that it's not compatible, but it probably is compatible. It's just not compatible for the U.S. standard, and I'm not sure if the U.S. standard of DMR and TDMA and whatever they all want to say is even compatible with Canada. They may have a different form of DMR. So DMR is a little bit confusing. It's all good when you have some guy that's a tech and programmed all the time and he can write you a new code. Well, I I'm a craftsman. I can't write code. I can't hack into the firmware on the stupid radio and change it to whatever I want. But in order for that radio to work in the US, it cannot transmit more than 1 watt on MERS frequencies. That's just the way it is. That's what the radio is locked to. Simplex. You can't do anything else with it. So that means it will only talk to another radio just like it with 1 watt of power, and that is it. It's simplex. No repeaters, no nothing. So that's the difference between a Baofeng DMR or a TYT 380. They're all pretty much the same. You might be able to write new firmware for the TYT easier than this Baofeng, but then again, you have to have some kind of technical knowledge to write what you need to write and change what you need to change. Apparently, I guess once you get in there and you enter all your credentials and you get a radio ID, then it unlocks the radio so you can program it. Maybe that's the step that I'm not getting. But it's kind of pointless when you have the software and you have the cable, but you can't get the cable to recognize, or it'll recognize the radio, but it won't recognize the computer, and it tells you have to code your plug. Well, how do you do that? You know what I mean? It's like every angle you try to get on DMR, you think you got it figured out, boom, something else pops up. It's like a firewall. It's like, no, we're going to stop you right here. And I really don't have the patience to sit there for hours and hours and hours and try to figure it out. You cannot get those Motorola DMR radios right now. You can't, and even if you could, they're like $1,000. And it's still not going to be what the police departments in Michigan, whatever deal, phase 2. I mean, you'd be better off spending $500 for a scanner, I guess. Is which I was trying to avoid, but you buy a $500 scanner and forget about the DMR. Them scanners should be able to pick all that up. Because that's all I don't care about transmitting. Shoot. And as for an FCC license, well, yeah, they're really going to track you down on 1 watt. 1 watt. You know what I mean? 1 watt is probably on FM at 400 megahertz is probably only good for a couple miles, if that. And so, yeah, I mean, what are you going to do? Hook it up to a 60-foot tower and a big beam? Shoot, you guys are just being goofs, man. Think about it. Don't you're really gonna key on the police and stuff with a 1 watt Baofeng walkie-talkie. Yeah, good luck with that.